This is His Other Self, a Jessie Reach Mystery. Book 2. Written by Rylie Dark, read by Caroline. Prologue. Elena read somewhere that everything was just perception, that a person's state of mind led the brain to interpret any given situation in a way that fit with their perception rather than objective reality. That didn't keep her from shouting, "Open up, you fucker!" She blushed at the profanity. She so rarely swore, and it was the vulgarity that made her think about what she'd read. Perceptions. She was late, and so she interpreted everything as somehow conspiring to slow her down. In this case, the conspirator was her car. More accurately, it was the key fob. She pressed the damned button a dozen times before bringing her fist down on the roof of the car 3 times. "Open!" she shouted. She blushed again, this time as she lowered her hand and inserted the key into the lock. She had read something else about how conveniences became standard, and once they were ubiquitous, they were perceived as necessities. In this case, the ability to press a button to open one's car door rather than turn the key in the lock had become so commonplace that the thought of engaging the tumbler with the actual key, rather than a beam of electricity, never even crossed her mind before now. She glanced around, cheeks still burning. Although she was late, it was still very early for most people. That meant, thankfully, that no one was around to see her. She imagined they were just now getting their coffee makers turned on. Coffee! She got into her car and turned the engine over. She pulled out too quickly, and one tire rolled over the curb. She heard a grating sound, but she didn't really care about the undercarriage at the moment. Still, she swore again, and this time she didn't blush. It was early, but she was late. It was early, but Congress was in session and working on a budget showdown, which meant the army of aides, assistants, runners, enablers, press, and lobbyists would be headed the same direction she was. Even if they didn't live in Falls Church, the freeway would be busy. Elena would not be getting her kicks on Route 66 this morning. She most certainly would not. Elena navigated her way from the small apartment complex, waving to the landscaping crew. She wondered if they'd heard the curb grate against the undercarriage. If they did, they didn't let on. In ordinary circumstances, the drive from her apartment to the White House was only 15 to 20 minutes, so it was worth the higher rent of living within the Beltway, rather than commuting from Vienna or Fairfax. Ordinary circumstances. Ordinary circumstances were bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?